Hello students, welcome to your WebSeek Academy English channel. Today, we will discuss the poem Romeo and Juliet, which is part of the second PUC English syllabus. This beautiful and tragic poem is written by the legendary English playwright and poet, William Shakespeare. A note on the poet. William Shakespeare was an English poet and playwright, widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language. He is often called England's national poet and the Bard of Avon. He was born in Stratford-upon-Avon, Warwickshire, in 1564. Very little is known about his life, but by 1592 he was in London working as an actor and a dramatist. Between about 1590 and 1613, Shakespeare wrote at least 37 plays and collaborated on several more. Many of these plays were very successful both at court and in the public playhouses. In 1613, Shakespeare retired from the theatre and returned to Stratford-upon-Avon. He died and was buried there in 1616. Romeo and Juliet Summary. Background 1. Romeo and Juliet presents the tragic story of two young lovers, Romeo and Juliet, who belong to two powerful noble families of Verona, the Montagues and the Capulets. The two noble families harbor grudges against each other and have been fighting each other as sworn enemies for a long time. The action starts with a street brawl between the servants of the two rival families, who are later joined by the heads of the families, the Montagues and the Capulets, themselves. Prince Aeschylus, who arrives on the scene, admonishes them, restores order, and threatens death to any member of either family found indulging in street fights in the future. Then he leaves the place, taking Lord Capulet along with him. Only Lord and Lady Montague and Benvolio, their nephew, remain there as the others depart. Lord Montague tells Benvolio that Romeo has been in a bad mood for quite a while, weeping and mooning, staying out all night but going into the house as soon as the sun rises, locking himself in his room with the curtains drawn as if to make himself an artificial night. Benvolio assures him that he will attempt to find out what is bothering Romeo. Next, we find Paris, a young relative of Prince Aeschylus, engaged in a conversation with Lord Capulet. Paris wishes to marry 14-year-old Juliet, the only daughter of the Capulets. Lord Capulet tells Paris that Juliet is yet too young to marry, but tells Paris that he will not oppose the marriage if Paris can win Juliet's consent. Incidentally, Lord Capulet invites Paris to a feast to be held at his house that evening. Meanwhile, Benvolio meets Romeo and learns that Romeo is madly in love with Rosaline, who does not love him and insists on remaining chaste. Next, we learn that Lord Capulet has given his servant a list of guests whom he has to see and ensure that they are invited to the Capulets' party that evening. But the servant cannot read the names in the list and hence asks two strangers in the street to read. The two strangers are none other than Romeo and Benvolio. Romeo reads out the names of the guests and incidentally learns that fair Rosaline, with whom he is madly in love, is also one of the guests in the party. Romeo and Benvolio decide to crash the party. As planned, Romeo and Benvolio gain entry into the party along with a retinue of masked entertainers and torchbearers. While the guests are engaged in dancing, Romeo happens to see Juliet dancing with a gentleman. Romeo is awestruck by her beauty and tries to find out from a servant who she is. It is at this juncture that Romeo says these lines. The lines spoken by Romeo are taken from Act I Scene B when Romeo happens to see Juliet for the first time in the party hosted by the Capulets. Both Romeo and Juliet do not know each other. Summary: 1. Romeo's speech. Romeo stands apart and rapturously praises her beauty. His words appear to come from someone who has not seen anyone so beautiful as Juliet before. It is night and the room is lit with torches. Romeo exclaims and says that Juliet is brighter than the blaze of the torches. It implies that her brightness outshines the torches and has lit up the hall. In the next two lines again there is a reference to the darkness of the night and a brightly shining lady. Romeo compares Juliet to a jeweled earring hanging against the cheek of an African. Here again, it implies that Juliet is conspicuously seen amidst others because of her brightness. Romeo is so enchanted with her goddess-like beauty that he declares that she is too beautiful for this world and too beautiful to die and be buried. In the next line, he eulogizes her beauty saying that she outshines the other women like a white dove in the middle of a flock of crows. Romeo is so overwhelmed by her beauty that he tells himself that when that dance is over, he will watch her where she stands and will touch her hand and make his coarse hand, compared to Juliet's, blessed. Then he asks himself a question whether his heart loved anyone before that moment. Then he tells himself that if it was true then he would renounce it because he had never felt so much in love because he had never seen anyone truly beautiful like Juliet until that night. Background 2. Having slipped away from his friends, Romeo lingers in Capulet's garden under Juliet's window, and overhears her confess to the stars that she loves him. He reveals his presence to her, and in an ardent love scene, they resolve to be married secretly. The next day, Juliet sends her nurse, of whom she has made a confidant, to make final arrangements, and the wedding is performed at the cell of Friar Lawrence, Romeo's friend. The two lovers depart hoping to meet each other in Juliet's chamber that night. Returning from his wedding, Romeo comes upon his friends, Benvolio and Mercutio, in an altercation with Tybalt, who has been seeking Romeo because of his intrusion at the ball. Tybalt, who has been seeking Romeo because of his intrusion at the ball. Tybalt does his best to pick a fight, but Romeo, remembering that now Tybalt is his kinsman, refuses to quarrel. Mercutio, however, who do not understand Romeo's softness, takes the quarrel upon himself, and when Romeo and Benvolio try to beat down their weapons is slain by Tybalt. Aroused by the death of his best friend, Romeo throws aside his lenity, slays Tybalt, and flees as the angry citizens begin to gather. Then we come to Act 3 Scene 2, where we find Juliet waiting in her father's orchard for her husband, Romeo's, arrival. Juliet, unaware of what has just happened, waits out the passing of the day. She is more impatient than ever, for that night Romeo is to come to her as her husband. At the opening of the scene, Juliet delivers an impassioned soliloquy, popularly known as Juliet's invocation to the night. In her soliloquy, Juliet urges the sun on to its setting in the west, so that night may arrive sooner. She longs for the shelter of darkness when Romeo can come to her unseen. The dark suits lovers, for love is blind and the beauty of lovers is enough light for them. There are 31 lines in this soliloquy but only 9 lines, lines 17 to 25, are prescribed for your study. Whereas Romeo's speech highlights the mesmerizing physical beauty of Juliet, Juliet's soliloquy highlights Juliet's intensity of love for Romeo. Summary 2. Juliet's soliloquy. In these 9 lines, Juliet invokes both night and Romeo as well. She addresses Romeo as day in the night because his presence will shine out against the darkness. She visualizes night like a bird and believes that Romeo will come gliding on the wings of the night like new snow on a raven's back. She addresses the night appealingly calling it gentle night and black-browed night. She implores it to bring her Romeo to her. After that, when she dies, she asks the night to take him and set him up in heaven with the stars so that he will make the face of heaven beautiful and charming. She hopes that when that happens, all the world will be in love with night, and it will not pay attention to the overbright or lurid sun. The soliloquy is based on the unifying images of night and light. Juliet courts this night, which by its darkness will allow Romeo's safe journey to her. The only light she needs is Romeo himself, who is day in the night. The light of the day and the garish sun offer nothing to her. They are only tedious. It is a night that is loving, for it blesses her love with its darkness and silence and lets that love shine out. Even the stars, emblems of the fate she does not recognize, seem to be good to her. Romeo will be made eternal by the stars. Juliet's speech is like singing in the face of death. Thus, Juliet hastens the coming of her wedding night. In short, love belongs to Juliet, now that she is married, but she does not own it, and she can't own love until Romeo possesses her. That is why she is waiting now as impatiently as a child waits for a festival. Romeo and Juliet Comprehension 1. 1. The phrase, "teach the torches to burn bright," suggests A. Juliet's glow is brighter than the light of the torch. B. Her beauty is capable of enabling the torches to burn bright. C. Her beauty surpasses the brightness of a light. Answer. C. Her beauty surpasses the brightness of a light. 2. For earth too dear, suggests that the lady's beauty is A. Divine. B. Rare. C. Expensive. Answer. A. Divine. 3. What do you think the phrase, "face of heaven," signifies? Answer. The phrase, "face of heaven," signifies the moonlit night sky. 4. The measure "has done" connotes the completion of A. Romeo's admiration of Juliet's beauty. B. The dance organized by Lord Capulet. C. The glorification of Juliet's charm. Answer. B. The dance organized by Lord Capulet. 5. The line, "Did my heart love till now?" conveys A. Romeo feels he has fallen in love. B. Romeo has been attracted before. C. Romeo feels this is true love. Answer. C. Romeo feels this is true love. 6. The phrase, "new snow," suggests A. Love as pure as snow. B. Description of Romeo's charm. C. Juliet's discreet love for Romeo. Answer. B. Description of Romeo's charm. Romeo and Juliet Comprehension 2. 1. What similes does Romeo use to convey Juliet's beauty? Or, Romeo's appreciation of Juliet's beauty is expressed through images. Explain. Answer. Romeo uses two similes to describe Juliet's extraordinary beauty. The first simile is deployed in the lines, "It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night as a rich jewel in an Ethiopia." In these lines, the phrases "cheek of the night" and Ethiopia apparently refer to the darkness of the night personified as an African Ethiopian lady. As we know, an African lady is black in complexion. Juliet stands out conspicuously amidst others in the dark night, lit up by torches in the room. There is a stark contrast between the bright and shining complexion of Juliet and the dark night. The second simile is deployed in the lines, "So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows, as yonder lady or her fellow shows." In these lines, the comparison is between the snowy dove and the crows. Obviously, Juliet is the snowy dove and the other ladies in the room are crows. Dove is a symbol of love and beauty. Crows have always been considered black and ugly. Naturally, for Romeo, Juliet is the personification of love and beauty. It also implies that the other ladies, including Rosaline, with whom he had fallen in love, appear ugly and gross to him. That is why he uses the phrase, "her fellows," to describe them. These two similes highlight how enchanted Romeo is with her beauty. 2. How, according to Juliet, would Romeo be immortalized to the world? Or, how does Juliet intend to make Romeo immortal? Or, how does Juliet express her feelings about Romeo? Answer. In her invocation speech to Night, Juliet invokes night and along with night, her Romeo also. To her, Romeo is the day in the night. It also implies that Romeo is her life, and so when the night falls, she imagines that he will come gliding upon the wings of night. In these lines, night is personified as a raven and Romeo is likened to new snow on a raven's back. Juliet favors the arrival of the night because it is in the night that Romeo has promised to come. That is why Juliet praises night, calling it gentle night and loving black-browed night. Love belongs to Juliet now that she is married, but she does not own it, and she can't own love until Romeo possesses her. Once she gets her Romeo, she does not fear death. Like all mortals, if she dies, Juliet begs fate to set him in heaven with the stars. His presence will make the face of heaven so beautiful that the world will fall in love with night, and the sun will no longer be worshipped. It also implies that their love will end in their tragic death because of the enmity that exists between the two families. Consequently, the world will come to know about the tragic death of the two lovers and thus Romeo will be immortalized. Romeo and Juliet Comprehension 3. 1. Comment on the contrasting imagery in the poem. What purpose does it serve in highlighting the intensity of love? Or, how did Romeo and Juliet express their romantic love feelings to each other? Or, both Romeo and Juliet employ contrasting images in their expression of appreciation and admiration for each other. Elaborate. Ans. The two stanzas in the poem, one by Romeo and the other by Juliet, highlight the intensity of love of the young lovers. This intensity of love is brought out by using the contrasting imagery of night and day, black and white, bright jewel and a dark surface, snowy dove, etc. Factually speaking, the words bright and night appear in Romeo's praise of Juliet's brightness when he sees her for the first time in the feast hosted by Lord Capulet. Romeo uses the phrase snowy dove to refer to and to distinguish Juliet from other ladies in the room. Romeo uses the word crows to refer to the other ladies in the room. Furthermore, Romeo compares Juliet's brightness with a rich jewel hanging upon the cheek of an Ethiopia. Romeo uses these words to highlight her beauty. It also symbolizes the emotional intensity that he shows towards Juliet. Similarly, Juliet uses the phrase day in the night and whiter than new snow on a raven's back to refer to Romeo. Secondly, she uses the words stars in the night sky to refer to Romeo. Literally speaking, both the meetings between Romeo and Juliet take place at night. Secondly, the meeting has to be a closely guarded secret because of the hostility and the enmity that exists between the two rival families, the Montagues and the Capulets. When Romeo goes to the Capulet's party, he goes wearing a mask at night. Similarly, he promises to meet Juliet in her chamber on the wedding night, so as not to be seen by anyone. That is why the word night symbolically stands for secrecy and caution that needs to be exercised in their love affair. Thus the playwright has used the word black and night to strengthen the emotional situation. Thematically speaking, the words day and night, black and white, night and raven are used to evoke the image of death, whereas white dove is a symbol of purity, peace and love. A raven or a black crow is considered a bird of omen. Furthermore, when I shall die and cut him out in little stars, and heaven are expressions that clearly refer to death and immortality. Thus, the playwright is hinting that the secret love affair between the two rivals will culminate in the tragic death of Romeo and Juliet. It can also be inferred that probably Juliet has a premonition of their impending death because of the fatal attraction between them and the enmity that exists between the two families. Thus, The contrasting imagery serves to highlight the intensity of their love. 2. Between Romeo and Juliet, whose love, do you think, is more passionate and intense? Answer. It is clear from their expressions that, of the two lovers, Juliet's love is more passionate and intense. It is well known that when Romeo goes to the Capulets' party, it is with the intention of seeing Rosaline and not Juliet. When he sees Juliet for the first time, his exclamations are of one who is overwhelmed by the sight of someone who is mesmerizingly, bewitchingly, beautiful, and are not the yearnings of someone deeply in love. On the other hand, when Juliet gets to know Romeo after he had touched her hand and kissed her, Juliet comes to understand what it means to be in love and from then onward starts feeling the pangs of love. Finally, she expresses her love firmly, asking Romeo to marry her. Her love for Romeo goes on increasing in intensity, and finally in her invocation tonight, we find someone yearning to be possessed in love by her husband. She has a premonition of their tragic death which finds expression in her request to set up Romeo amidst the stars in heaven after death so that their love gets immortalized. It is also true that, of the two, though Juliet is younger than Romeo, she is more mature and passionate in deciding to get married to Romeo. She accepts Romeo as her partner despite being fully aware of the enmity that exists between the two families. On the contrary, Romeo, though older than Juliet, is infatuated with Rosaline and is disappointed that she does not reciprocate his love. Only when he meets Juliet, who reciprocates his love, does he understand what it is to be really in love. Therefore, it can be concluded that it is Juliet who is more passionate and intense in love than Romeo. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Webseek Academy for more English lessons and notes. See you in the next video. Until then, keep learning and keep growing.